Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Take Two Radio. We are pleased to bring you interviews with people in the entertainment and music industry, discussions and recaps of the 4 remaining daytime soaps. That's The Bold and the Beautiful, The Young and the Restless, General Hospital, and Days of Our Lives, as well as various other shows. For upcoming and previous shows, check take2radio.com. That's with the number 2. And you can find us on Blog Talk Radio, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and other streaming apps. Follow us on social media at Take Two Radio, and thanks for listening.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Take Two Radio. I'm Pam, your host, and joining me tonight is David, Willie, Candace, and somewhere is Carolyn, so hopefully she'll be calling in at the moment. But tonight, we are so very honored to have with us as our very special guest, award-winning actress Suzanne Rogers. And she is well known for her role as Maggie Horton Kiriakis on Days of Our Lives and has appeared in various TV shows such as Quincy M.E., Love American Style, just to name a few, and in movies such as Never Say Never, The Deidre Hall Story. Please welcome Suzanne Rogers.
Well, hello.
Hey.
Hey. How are you? How are you? This is exciting. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, my gosh. We are super excited. It's like having royalty with us right now.
Oh, please. No.
Serious.
Just average, a Southern girl from Virginia. No. I don't put myself on a pedestal. Never have.
No, we will do it for you. That's okay.
We'll do that.
Oh, well, all right. Thank you. I'll take it.
Thank you.
Pretty much, it's just like, here's the queen. The queen is here, folks. Ladies
right?
and gentlemen, the queen.
Oh,
there you go.
My goodness
there you
gracious.
They got rose petals. Rose petals are being thrown as you walk down the aisle and everything.
Yeah.
And it's just,
No. Man, I'll take princess, not a queen.
Okay.
We'll
right.
meet you halfway with that. We'll do it. We'll
right.
still say,
Okay.
The princess is here.
Good.
Heary. The princess
Yay.
is here.
Well,
Yay.
I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready for us tonight. We got a couple of questions for you. And
I am.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and get started. So I listened to an interview recently, and there was an actor who said that when he got his first professional job, he would go on set to watch everything to learn the process. He even went on when he wasn't scheduled to be on. So what was your process like when you first started?
Well, I didn't do that, but I talked. I did get to the studio early, extremely early. So much so I think it annoyed some people. But, it was just something that I felt I had to get in I don't know, something about going onto a set. You just pick up the vibes of what has gone there before you, and you just I don't know. I that's just the way I am. I'm always early, and people say, "Oh, she's going to be here an hour early." Never mind.
Yeah.
So that's what I do, and that's what I've done from the beginning. And I talked to like a lot of the actors that were on the show before I went on the show, and tried to pick their brain and say, what should I do? I mean, what's good to do and how? And Frances Reid was brilliant. She said to me, listen, she said, you know what? Don't keep anybody waiting. Know your lines. And she said, just do the best you can. That was a kind of what I've followed all my life was that. I always tried to, when I was at Radio City, I wanted to see the audience smile when I was up on stage, and I would smile back. I mean, you didn't recognize anybody, but I mean, I felt they were there. They paid money. They paid good money to see the Rockettes, and I felt, okay, they're looking at me.
Right.
And that's just the way I've always been. I guess it's just that when you go into this business, you go in there, sometimes you go in there because you're escaping, from I don't know. I lived in a small town in Virginia, and New York was the big apple, and so I was just excited. I was so happy to get paid for doing my dancing, which I had done since I was a baby. My mother glued tafts on my baby shoes, really. But her best friend was a dancing teacher, and she had kind of said quietly to her, if I have a girl, she's going to study dancing. And that's kind of how it all started, and that's how I started, So,
oh, wow.
I love what I do. I still love what I do. I still get to the studio early after all these years. I don't know. That's just the way I am. I want to be prepared.
Yeah, and I would hope that you love it after, spending 49 years just on days of our lives.
I know. It's like, I think I know this character pretty well.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Congratulations on 49 years. I mean, there's not a lot of people these days that can say that they, have worked that long in this industry. So that's a major feat
I think I've been very lucky, and I think I've been very lucky, and I think that thank goodness the fans have never turned against me. And my bosses and the network has liked my character. So I mean, there's a whole number of people that have kept me on the show. So I'm just thankful that I can still do it, that I still love it, and I'm still wanted.
Yes, absolutely. And Maggie has been on a long roller coaster ride in those 49 years, especially when it comes to her husband, Victor. I mean, come on. His shenanigans always something going on. So,
always.
Storyline?
Well, she kind of is. Well, the thing of it is with Victor, she's the voice of reason. He kind of is. He kind of gets carried away, and he's been married a few times on the show, and I'm kind of, I've always said I'm your last wife,
right?
And so I call him on things. I had money, my own money, so I wasn't marrying him for his wealth, and I wasn't marrying him for his fame, because I owned 2 restaurants over the years, and I ran them, and I was successful, and so it wasn't like, really, I didn't want anything from him other than be truthful to me, and that's kind of what it is. So I guess the storyline that kind of freaked me out the most was a couple years ago. I had to do a storyline where Maggie, she thought she killed, she was told that she killed 2 people in a car accident because she was drinking, and so she turned herself in and went to prison. And that was that was very upsetting to me because, no one in my family has ever been an alcoholic, so it was kind of trying to delve into what exactly alcoholics do and whatever, and also, I've never been in prison, so it was very. I kind of let myself go. I kind of let myself get afraid because I'm not big on horror films, and I kind of thought about that. I kind of thought, okay, this is how it's going to be. It's going to be scary as H, if you know what I'm saying. Scary as hell. So, and it was, and so that's kind of, it was probably the most scary storyline, but it was probably the most rewarding for an actress.
Right, yeah. No, you've had some humdingers, that's for sure, and we've loved every minute of it.
Tell me. Well, you're so sweet, Pam. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome, and thank you for answering my questions. I'm going to go ahead and let David ask his questions.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
Suzanne.
Hello, David.
Hi. Suzanne. It is very fine to meet you tonight.
Oh, thank you. The way you say my name, my grandmother used to say my name like that, Suzanne.
Oh, really? That's how my mother
used to.
She put the emphasis
on the Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm all right. Okay. Now go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. It's fine. One of the best learning experiences for me from the show gave me what the show gave me was the introduction of myasthenia gravis in the plight of the patient. That's the first time I've ever heard of it when I was watching that. So, how did the powers that be present that story to you? And knowing you suffered with it, how difficult was it to relive it all over again?
Well, I agree with you. I'd never heard of it either. When I started having symptoms, I was running, not marathons, but running half marathons. I was running almost every day. I had this fanatical thing. I had all this energy, and I just kept. And it was my body telling me to slow down, but I wasn't. And I would get up in the morning and I would go to the studio and drop my things off and go and run around the block of the studio. So this was just a fanatical thing that I was doing. And then all of a sudden one morning I got up and I was off. I just felt like I was off. And I went into the bathroom and I looked in the mirror and it looked like I had a stroke. One side of my face was dropped, and I went, and I mean, you can't imagine. Here you are, an actress. What you need to perform is your voice and your face, and all of a sudden I had neither. And so one of the other actresses on the show, Lana Saunders, she said, well, we've got to find out what this is. And so we proceeded. For some reason, I must have had several weeks off, and she wasn't working either, and we proceeded to go from doctor to doctor to doctor to doctor. And I went to about 8, and then they finally sent me to UCLA, and the doctor there said, you have this myasthenia gravis. And I looked at him, and I looked at her, and I'm thinking, I've never heard of this, and I said, okay, give me a pill. I thought this was going to solve the problem. It didn't, obviously, and she started crying. And I kept looking at her thinking, why is she crying? I'm the one that's got the illness. Anyway, to make a long, well, what I found out after he said, well, I'm going to give you some medication, some Mestinon to take, and you're to take this 4 times a day. And, now, mind you, every day the symptoms were different. The next day, the other side of my face dropped. And then the other side was fine. And then nothing was wrong. Then the face was fine. But I was having difficulty talking. So it was a hideous disease. Everything I needed was from my throat up. I didn't have. So anyway, we left the doctor's office, went down to the cafeteria, and she proceeded to tell me why she was crying. And I said, why are you crying? I said, and she said, well, I haven't told you this. And I said, what's the matter? She said, I have MS. And I said, well, I started crying because I know what MS is. And see, what happens with myasthenia gravis and MS, they mirror one another. They're the same, and then they veer off. One goes one way and one goes the other. And MS is degenerative. Myasthenia gravis is not. What you get is what you get. Some people have it in their legs or arms or voice or lungs or whatever. Aristotle Onassis died from it because he got it in his lungs. But for years, and I don't know if you've seen any pictures of him, he had his eyes taped open with tape because his eyes would droop. That was one of the symptoms of the myasthenia. And so I'm sure that had he known, that there was help, he would have, because he was so wealthy, he would have put a lot of money into this illness. But at the time, they didn't know what it was. They just didn't know what the problem was. Anyway, when the show found out that I was sick, I didn't tell anyone. I said I was leaving the show, and they came to me and they, what's wrong? And I said, well, I've got something and I got to get well. So I was off the show for almost a year. And then they called me and said, and the only person that knew was Lana Saunders, and John Clark, who was my co-worker. And but I'd say, you can't tell anybody, And it was a thing in Hollywood. Nobody was supposed to. Now they talk about illnesses all the time. Back then, when I first came on the show, no, don't tell anybody you're sick. Don't tell them what the problem is. You kept things quiet because you were afraid you were never going to work again. Okay, so long story short, I'm sorry I'm taking so long to tell this.
Oh, no.
But,
all right.
Fine.
but the thing is, let me say it. Anyway, one of our producers said, I want to see you. And I said, no. I said, I have to tell you, I don't look like I did. And mind you now, when I left the show, I was very thin. I had been running, and I was extremely thin. Now, because of the prednisone, which was one of the medications they had me on, if you know anything about prednisone, it's called a miracle drug. It is a miracle drug, but it also bloats you. It's called moon face for a reason, because your face gets very full. Anyway, so I said, you're going to be shocked when you see this. Anyway, he said, just meet me at Dupar's. At the time, that was a restaurant in Studio City. And so I got there early before he was there, because I wanted to see the look on his face when he saw me. And I saw him come in the door, and I just braced myself for how he was going to react. And I didn't see any reaction whatsoever, which I was very grateful for, but I knew what I looked like. Anyway, he sat down. He said, we'd like for you to come back to the show. And I said, I don't know if I can do this, And he said, well, why don't we write it into the show? Why don't we write the illness into the show? And I said, well, the only way I'll do this is if it has a positive ending, because I'm going to beat this. And so that's how they picked up the storyline and did it for the show. It was because I had said I would only do it if it had a positive ending. And as it turned out, within a year, I was getting better, and I was going into remission. And that's kind of how it all happened.
That's the story.
Yeah, that's. I'm just glad you're on the other side of it. I mean,
me too. Me too.
I can't even imagine.
Too. And it all comes from stress. And I had gone through a divorce, and the show's attitude, anybody over 35, they didn't want to write for anymore. And, they were writing less and less. And, it was all about the young people coming on and everything. And so it kind of all just took its toll. That's what was happening. And it comes from stress is what it comes from, the T cells, Yeah.
Yeah, it can play havoc with your body.
I'm very happy to be talking to you. But my voice was, I couldn't answer the phone because people would hang up thinking they called the wrong number. Because I was going like this. I couldn't.
Yeah.
That's how I talked. That's how bad it was. Because I couldn't use my vocal cords at all. It was like your brain tells you to speak. It sends, from the T cells, tell you to speak. And you try and you can't. And that's how it affected me. But Roger Smith and Margaret's husband had it of the limbs. So, it's just, it's bizarre how it affects things. How it affects people.
Absolutely.
But maybe because of my dancing. It didn't affect my legs. I don't know.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
that was one heck of a first question, David. What's your second question?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I took so long.
No.
That's quite all right. That's what we want.
It's a learning experience, truly.
Well, I hope I helped somebody else, because I went around for 3 years, and I gave speeches all over the country with different organizations, the myasthenia gravis foundation. And the strange thing, because I was doing so well, and I prayed a lot because I'm a very religious person, and I prayed and prayed and prayed, and I was doing really well, but the patients were upset because they kept looking at me saying, "You don't look like you have it," and I said, "I do," and I was on prednisone still, but they were lowering the dosage of it. So it was hard. It was sort of like a double-edged sword. I was getting better, but they didn't want to see me get better, the patients, because they were not getting better. So it was really hard. It was hard to go and to speak at these meetings that they had when you're doing well. And I thought, well, no, I'm not going to get sick because they want me to. I want to get well, But right. It's hard. It's really hard when you see other patients not getting well. It's really hard.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. For maybe
right,
a little easy. You want a little easier round this time, Suzanne? I'll go. Okay. I got 4 names for you, and you tell me what each of them mean to you. Okay?
Okay. Yes.
John Clark, Lane Davies,
Lovely.
Joe Gallison.
Lovely.
Well, wait. Let her answer each one, David.
Oh, you want to do one by one?
Well, John Clark was a love, and he helped me so much when I first came on the show. Lane Davies, I dated, and he was a lovely guy. Joe Gallison was fierce to work with. He was just great. And Lisa Trussell, I love her. I just love her. She was my daughter, and yes, I wish she were on the show too.
I do. I miss them all. I tell you how far I go back, because I remember when Maggie gave birth to Sarah. So that's how far I go.
Yes. I love it. I love you. I love people that know something about the show and about the history of the show and the characters about their history. That's wonderful. I mean, that's the biggest compliment you can pay to me. You can't say anything that I love or like or admire, or I just love you so much for all of you knowing so much about the show, the history, because that's what's lacking so much, in the world today. We don't know enough about the history of ourselves and our lives. That's all. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm going off on a tangent again.
No, we love it. We love it. Don't worry about it. Well, thank you for answering. Thank you for answering
thank you,
David's
David,
questions.
very much, and thank you for being a fan. And I hope I didn't use up all your time. I'm sorry.
No. We got Willie, and he's up next. Go ahead, Willie.
Okay, Willie. Hi.
Yes. Hi. Hola, Suzanne. This is Willie, Party Will, and I am such a big fan. Yes, I love you as Maggie. Just so dear.
Thank you.
I would imagine that California has every type of restaurant that you could ever want. What is your favorite place to go to, and what is your favorite dish?
Okay. I love Maria's. It's an Italian. I love Italian food. Maria's is, they have several, but I love the meat ravioli with the meat sauce. Oh, my God. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And that's, listen, and their pizza's to die for. So, as you can tell, I like Italian food.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. Here's the second set. Are you a traveler, and where have you not gone yet that you'd like to go to?
I'm not as much of a traveler anymore. I used to love traveling more when I could take my mom with me, because she was from Virginia, from Maryland, in a small town in Maryland, and then she went to Virginia. So I enjoyed traveling to show her different places. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed the travel through her eyes. I took her down to Australia because I'd never been, and it took her 2 days to recoup from that flight. But she loved it, and I loved seeing her see Australia through her eyes. Where I would like to go, I haven't been. I would like to go to Ireland because that's where my mother's side of the family is all from, and that's where I would like to go. And of course, I think everybody would like to go to Rome. I would like to go to Rome too. So
nice.
that's about it.
That.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you for answering my questions, and I'm sending lots of hugs and loves from Texas your way.
Lots of hugs and kisses to you. Back at you.
Yes. Happy anniversary.
Thanks, Willie.
Thank
okay.
you.
Next up, we have Candace.
Oh, hi,
Hello,
Candace.
Rogers.
What a beautiful name. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. So it's funny because I've been a fan of this genre since I was born. Obviously, if you ask anybody, they will pretty much tell you that.
Yes.
But I always like when I find out that my favorite soap actors are from the same place as me, so I can gloat a little bit. And the thing is that I know you grew up in Virginia, but I know that you were born in Maryland, which I'm from.
Yes, I was.
I'm from Maryland. So.
Oh, no kidding. Where?
So I'm in Baltimore, Maryland.
No kidding. Well, I grew up in I was born in Loney County, but Midland, Maryland was where my grandmother lived, and that's close to Frostburg, So and Cumberland, those are the two.
Yep.
That's the area that I was in. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's wonderful.
I was always like, yay, thank you, Maryland. So yay. Somebody needs to get on that. I should create a soap about Maryland. That's what I should do.
There you go.
Do that.
Well, on The Voice right now, there's a duo. There's two girls, and they call themselves Maryland. And I thought, how fun is that? How fun is that? And they made it through. I mean, they're going on to the next round, so they're doing good.
Yeah, I did see that. I was like, okay. I was like, yay.
Yay. Absolutely.
So my question is, some fans may or may not know, because you did say you love fans who know the history. So here on Take Two, we sometimes like to reinforce the soap history, So
sure.
William J. Bell considered you for the role of Maggie. Can you share with us your impression of Mr. Bell as well as Miss Betty Corday?
Well, at first, I don't think I was Bill Bell's choice. I thought, and the reason I'm going to just explain that was because I didn't have any film on myself. I had never done. I had done theater, and I had done industrial shows and stuff like that, and commercials, but I didn't have any film. And he was concerned that maybe I wasn't, how photogenic was I, And but he listened to Betty, and Betty convinced him, and then Betty convinced him that yes, that I was the right person for the part, and I absolutely adored Betty Corday. She was my mother, my grandmother, my everything. She just, I could go to her and talk to her if I was concerned about something. And once she came to me, I was lying out in the sun a little too much, and my hair was getting lighter, blonder, more blonde than red. And she said, "Put it back." She said, "See that picture right there? I want you to be that color of hair. That's the color of hair you had when you came on the show, and that's the color I want you to be." I just loved her. I mean, she just was the best, just the best. And obviously, Mr. Bell listened to her, and I think he was pleased with his choice.
And so are we. For 49 years, we are very pleased with that decision.
Thank you.
Okay.
This has been so much fun, I can't tell you.
We're having so much fun with you, and it's an honor to talk to you.
Thank you.
So this is what I call my thinking question, which means you're really going to have to think about this answer. Okay.
Okay.
If somebody decided to make a movie about your life, who would you want to play you, and what would the title of the movie be?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say this person because I know she has reddish hair. Nicole Kidman, and
okay.
And I guess the title would be Believe It.
Right there. Somebody write the screenplay. Let's go. Let's do this.
Because the thing of it was, when I would get something, I just couldn't believe that I could get something. I mean, I'm really a tiny little town in Virginia, and it's
right.
First of all, I went from there to New York, and I became a rockette, and then I went from there. I came there to California. I got on this soap. I've been on this. I mean, it's just so many things that should not have happened that did, and I just, it's just, it's unbelievable, and so believe it. Just, you got to believe it. You got to believe it, and that's what I think. That's what I would name it.
Awesome, and we would watch that movie. So yeah, if you ever get it done, we'll be watching.
If anybody's out there listening, I was going to say, if anybody's listening, we can do this. I'm just going to put some names out. Ron Carvati, you can also do this too. We can,
there you go. Why not?
Get some people.
Why not?
There you go.
Get going. Get writing.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
That would be
the Suzanne Rogers story.
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
Boom.
Thank you.
And she moves, she dances, So yeah, it would be good. And she's a great actress. I would be honored to have her. Yeah, honored.
I can totally see. I actually can see the poster. I can see the movie trailer. I can see it right now.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
There you go. From your mouth to God's ears.
Right.
Right?
Thank you, Candace. All right.
Thank you so much.
Last but not least, we have Carolyn. Carolyn, say hello.
Hi, Carolyn. How are you? Hi.
I'm really good. And she said, last but not least, oh my goodness.
Oh, that's okay. They saved the best for last, Carolyn.
Right.
That's how you got to look at it. You got to look at it that way.
Well, last but not least is not a bad thing.
I'm the youngest of 5, so I was the last one to get any food.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Well, and I'm the oldest on the panel. And
well, you know what? That's okay. That's okay. I'm probably the oldest in a lot of categories.
We're older than wiser. Yeah. Well, it's a pleasure, it's an honor. I mean, I go back a long time, and I loved you with Dr. Neil Curtis and the mother of Daniel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do, and I love it. I just love it. So many people have no idea what we're talking about, but it doesn't matter. We do.
That's
right.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
Do you keep in touch with do you keep in touch with Sean Christian or any of the actors that are no longer?
Christian, I just saw Sean Christian at the Emmys, as a matter of fact, and I know that Joe Gallison, he lives in Wilmington, North Carolina, and I know that I think he still has an acting school. He teaches acting. So I try to. Our beloved John Clark passed away, so he that was a shock. I see Lane Davies from time to time. So, and I see Lisa Trussell from time to time. So, I try to. I mean, I'm just kind of that kind of a person, that I just try to stay in touch with people if I can.
Well, that's wonderful, and so many great memories for sure.
Oh, you bet. You bet.
Yeah.
You bet. When Mac, go ahead. Go ahead.
How does it feel being the Horton matriarch? And let me tell us if you draw your strengths on the show from real life, like where do you get your strength from?
Well, first of all, I to me the matriarch of the show will always be Tom and Alice Horton. I don't even want to go there. I'm just holding up the banner. That's all I consider. And I think my strength comes from my faith. I'm a Catholic. I have, I've been a Catholic since I was a little girl, made my first communion. It's just, when in doubt, I just drop down to my knees and I pray. And I do that before I walk out on stage every time I work. It's just a part of my life. I pray twice a day. And if something happens in the middle of that time, I pray some more. But it's just, I don't think you can't get through this life alone, and you need a higher power. It doesn't matter who or what you believe in, as long as you have something that's higher than you are. And that's where I get my strength from.
Well, here, and more of us, a lot of us need to get back to basics. That's what it's all about.
Well,
Thank you very much.
It's just it's just very simple. When I get in the car, I make the sign of the cross when I get in the car, because you may be a good driver, but that other person may not be. And so,
right.
You say a little prayer that you get to where you're going safely, and you get home safely. I guess, I know I need help, and we all do. We all need help, and if we don't start, I don't know, I'm going to pontificate a little bit. If we don't start believing in something higher than us, I don't know what's going to happen to us. So anyway, but that's that's kind of. But I don't think that I'm. Tom and Alice Horton will always be the matriarch and the patriarch of our show, and I know I've been there probably the longest, but that's their title, and I'm just holding the banner. That's all I'm doing.
There you go. You're carrying on the baton.
Yeah.
You're very sweet. You're very sweet.
Yeah.
Were you going to ask me anything about Ginger Rogers?
Yeah, tell us about Ginger Rogers dancing.
Well, let me tell you how I got the name. Let me tell you how I got the name Rogers. I had done musicals, and my legal name is Crumpler, Crumpler. It's a German English name, and when I started doing musicals, people would say, "That's hard. That's so hard to understand. What did you say your name was?" I would say Suzanne Crumpler, and they'd say, "Who? What?" Anyway, so I told my parents, I said, "I've got to change my name. I got to change my name." And my dad didn't say, "I don't see anything wrong with your name." I said, "No, Daddy, they really don't. They can't understand my name. My name is too hard." I said, "Well, I got to come up." And I said, "So you and Mom think about it and let me know what you come up with." So they got back to me weeks later, and they said, "Well, okay, we came up with two. One is Kelly, because you're Irish, and the other is Rogers, because of Roy Rogers and Ginger Rogers." And I said, "Oh, okay." So I wrote those two names down, and I called the unions, and you have to call all the unions to make sure there isn't a derivative or anybody by that same name. So that means Sue, Susan, Suzanne. I mean, there can't be Susanna. There can't be another one of that name in any of those unions, or you can't take that name. So I was in New York at the time, and everything was fine with Kelly at first, and then there was a Sue Kelly out here in California, and so I couldn't pick that name. So I said, "Well, what about Rogers?" and so they said, no, there's no. I said, "Well, then that's it." And it's so bizarre, because later when I left New York, and when I was in New York still dancing, I did a craft music hall, and the host of the craft music hall was Dale Evans, Roy Rogers, and Dale Evans, and I just felt so. I thought, oh my God, it just kind of was so fortuitous that here I was working with one of the name in my mind, the namesake of my name, So that's how it all came to be. That's how it all came to be, Caroline. Just like that.
Wow.
I mean, and
yeah.
And Ginger Rogers, of course, I loved because she was a dancer with Fred Astaire, and oh my God! And the story about that is she gave Fred Astaire, sex appeal, and he gave her class, and I just love that. I'm telling tales. I'm telling tales.
Go ahead.
Oh, that's my little dog barking. She's barking at the mail truck out front.
We won't keep you any longer because we want to be mindful of your time. We want to thank you so much for answering all our questions and joining us tonight.
Listen,
you are pure delight. You are
wonderful.
Thank you so much. And I back at you. I mean, this was just joyful. I mean, the time just flew by. I thank you so much, and I hope you got everything you needed.
We did, thank you, and we would welcome you back anytime.
It was like talking. It's like talking to an old friend. Just catching up.
Yay! Well, that's what it is.
Yeah.
We have to love everybody. We have to love each other. We're in this business. It's a tough business, and it's hard, and we have to keep smiling. That's all.
Yes, absolutely. All right, take care, and you enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you. You too. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Suzanne Rogers, and I know she doesn't want to be called a queen, but she's a queen to me. I mean, come on.
Yeah, she is.
And I could listen to her all night, talk about whatever she wanted to. I could listen to her.
Exactly. That's what I said. It's like talking to an old friend, catching up, just, listening to the wonderful stories. And, I mean, this is the person who won the first Supporting Actress Daytime Emmys, and y'all know how I feel about the Emmys. I mean, she is such a presence. You know what I'm saying? Like, she is bona fide grace, beauty. She's funny. She has amazing stories, and like you said, Pam, I could sit here, not say anything else, just let her talk about Broadway, about New York, the dance studios, Days of Our Lives history. I mean, everything.
Yep.
She's a ball of fire. Yeah. She's a ball of fire, like her hair.
She really is. And you can feel that energy. Like, you can really feel that energy across the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh. She was so gracious to take her time out and to talk with us, I mean, there's some people that you think that you'll never be able to have the chance to talk to. And Suzanne was one of them. And I just thank God that we got that chance, and we are very blessed.
Yes,
well, thank you for letting me join you again, because that's such an honor to just to listen and even to talk to her. It's such a cherished moment. So thank you for all of that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pam. So many times before.
Yeah, Pam, you're on a roll. This has been wonderful. Wonderful.
I love doing it. I love talking to them, and I like sharing it with, people that enjoy it as much as I do. So there you go.
You should be really proud of yourself.
Especially because today is National Soap Opera Day. Yes, it's a holiday, folks.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping that we have somebody special because for November 10th, because that is the 10-year anniversary of Take Two Radio.
Nice.
Well, we can celebrate it early.
Well, yes, but I would still like somebody else special that I've been wanting for a long time. So, We can see what happens.
Who, Greg Vaughn? Greg, I'm just putting it out there. Greg Vaughn? Greg Vaughn? Greg Vaughn?
What are you saying, Red Rum?
No, Greg Vaughn.
Really?
Oh, Greg Vaughn. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
Really?
I couldn't hear. You were saying it so fast, and then everybody was talking, so it was like,
said
what?
Greg Vaughn. I said Greg Vaughn like 10 times.
I'm going to tell him you called him Red Rum from Shining. I'm going to tell him.
Well, you know what? I could twist that in so many ways, but this is a family show.
Yeah. Watch out.
Yeah, rhymes with a lot of things, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, kids, I love the time I have spent with you today, but as I said, I have something personal going on, so I'm going to have to leave you now. But, I think probably any one of you will be vocalizing how I'm feeling about certain things. So I'm going to trust you, and I'm going to leave you to it. So you guys have fun, and we'll talk again soon.
Take care. Bye.
Next week.
Yeah. Okay. Take care.
All right.
Okay. I'm waiting for Nathan.
To be back with everybody. I missed y'all.
Well, we missed you.
Same. We have
I got two quick announcements to make. The first one is I want to wish my daughter Jenna happy birthday. She's 15 today. They grew up so fast.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Thank you. And our second announcement is Carolyn and I are excited because we just kicked off our second season of our LGBTQIA fanfic podcast drama series of Arizona Heat, and it's streaming on Spotify. So take a listen and let us know what you think. And thank you for listening.
Yay!
Yay.
And
welcome,
also,
Nathan.
Hello.
Hey, Nathan's in the house.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
How y'all doing?
Right.
Okay, so we're going days first.
Yeah, I'm curious because
Candace, you got something on your mind?
I do have something on my
mind.
I did. So as many of you guys know, I watch all soaps, and I'm kind of keeping track on what the topics of the day or week are. First and foremost, shout out to Peacock because they did get 2 million new subscribers when they was doing the $1.99 thing. By the way, it's now continuing on until I believe around November. So, if you don't have Peacock, what are you waiting for? It's $1.99. Okay.
There you go.
That's my plug. That's my plug tonight. But the thing is that, and I always say that half of the 2 million is actually Dave's All Lives viewers because, in all honesty, let's be real, people wanted to see the show, continue on to Peacock. So if you don't want to proudly announce that you got it because of Dave, that's fine. But we know you did. Okay, so the number one thing that
the Spectrum subscribers, you can get a good deal because I got Peacock through my Spectrum cable, and they gave me a great deal for it.
I don't have.
And that was the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, David.
I don't. That's the thing. I have Spectrum cable, but I never got. Unless it's new, I never got it. But I bought it last year for $4.99.
Right, and that's the thing too. Like, if you already had it, like I know Xfinity customers. Obviously, NBC owns, NBC Universal owns Xfinity, so y'all bona fide to get Peacock because of that. I know T-Mobile was running. I remember saying that T-Mobile was running a little deal as well last month, and whatnot. So, if you're still trying to figure out if you got Peacock or not, hit us up at Take Two Radio. We'll help you out. Customer cares. Okay. I felt like that. You remember the more you know. Remember that at NBC? The more, I feel like when I just did that, I felt like somebody should have said. There you go. So okay, here is what I have to say. Dave's fans. Yes, there was a threesome. Yes, it happened. But I would like to say that Lindsay, Robert, and Raven, you guys did a really good job with that. The choreography for that threesome was well done. I know people was pressed. When I say pressed, I mean people was like, people.com picked up the comments. Our local news talked about it. Our local radio station talked about it. I mean, mainstream media was like going crazy. But I'm going to tell you something. Hey, Dave fans, guess what? That actually worked because people are tuning in to see what? A soap threesome? What?
Yep.
And my thing was it wasn't raunchy. Yeah, it wasn't raunchy like a Showtime. It was very well because they had an intimacy. I learned something too. Both General Hospital and Days hired. I never heard of this profession, but it's real. An intimacy coordinator.
Yes.
So this person comes on set to show like how to. It's like a choreographer. You know, certain movements, certain ways, certain touches, such as, you know, without it being sexual. I saw some Days fans was up in arms. They was like, oh, Deidre Hall lied about how Days wasn't going to be like this. And I just want to just say this right now. Folks who kept saying that, I would like for you to know, pay attention to Auntie Candace, okay, that this was originally for NBC. All the Peacock stuff doesn't start until mid-January, early February. You're welcome. I mean,
and also that coordinator that you're talking about, they also have him on Riverdale on the CW. So these very special title professionals, they do exist, and you know they do a great job. So shout out to all of them.
Yeah, I just think it was just like when I was watching the end credits, because I pay attention to the end credits. I don't know if you guys do or not, but I had saw it and I was like, oh, it's in the sequence. And then like on General Hospital a week prior, I had saw it as well. So my thing is this. Right now, I'm going to say this. It's been good to be a Days fan. I know that some Days fans have had their moments. But right now, Days is, by the way, one of the top 5 shows on Peacock. Let me repeat that. It's the top 5. It's doing very well because again, you have heard more about Days. I'm not saying before you didn't, but you're hearing more about it. Like I said, in mainstream media, people are looking at Days as the flagship of Peacock. Let me repeat that. They're the flagship of Peacock. Okay?
Yep.
Right now.
Right now, yes, there's some things here and there, but it's interesting. I'm going to ask you guys, because the episodes drop at 6 o'clock in the morning, have you been finding it easier to watch it? Or do you feel as though they shouldn't drop it at 6 o'clock in the morning?
It's not always exactly at 6, but it takes a little while. I'd say maybe you could get it by 6:30, because I've tried watching it before I go to work, and it's not right on at 6, so I have to wait till about maybe 15 minutes. 20 minutes after, then it'll come on. But yeah, I like it, watching it before I go to work in the morning, and then watching the rest of it when I come home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the idea that I can watch it anytime and it'll be there.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Yeah, because everyone's schedule is different. So there's the flexibility, which is For me, I'm still in withdrawal because I'm thinking, for here in Florida, 1 o'clock, and I used to prepare and walk my dogs and get my lunch ready and whatever. And now it's not on at 1 o'clock anymore.
Yeah, I love it because I can get up in the morning and lets me start my day. I can either choose to watch it that morning, or I can, get my day going, get my daughter up, feed the cat, watch my soap, eat some breakfast, or I could take a nap, come wake up, and watch it in the afternoon. And good on Peacock because it lets you watch it when you're able to watch it, not just the way it just was before, where you're like, you got to wait till I think, 12:30 for some people just to watch it. Now it's flexible where it's already 6 o'clock in the morning, almost 7, and you can watch it anytime you want. So, Peacock, congratulations. You're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Here. I agree as well.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm going to be honest. When they said it was coming over to Peacock exclusively, right, September 12th, I felt like Beyond Salem again. Because when Beyond Salem was on, when they said Peacock was coming, that Beyond Salem, I would wake up extra early. I would set my alarm, 5:45, so I could be up, get ready, for work and everything. But I would have time to watch it. So to me, I feel as though you're right, to know that it's available at any time to watch it. Because I know some people are doing this. It's on Peacock, and they wait till their respective times that days normally would came on for them on NBC. Yeah. So, some people wait till 1 o'clock because that was a tradition. That was, at 1 o'clock, that was Days of Our Lives time. And
for how many years?
There,
for
so long.
For a long time.
Yeah, so it's like it's a win-win, and not for nothing. And if my godmother listens to the episode, which I know she is, I'm calling you out. I'm sorry, but she also has discovered Days of Our Lives, and let me explain. Because again, she watches Young and the Restless and Bold and Beautiful. She used to watch Days of Our Lives, but because Days falls right in the middle of Young and the Restless and Bold, she couldn't really do it. But now that it's on Peacock, she's able to watch it.
Oh,
and
that's
I've
great.
heard other people do that too because they want to see. Okay, we've heard about certain things that's going on in Days of Our Lives. Let's check this out and still watch our respectable soaps.
Yeah.
By the way,
and you
Peacock
gotta
pay us.
You got to add that you can take Peacock with you anywhere. Literally, you can have it on your phone, you can have it on your tablet. I mean, here's just a little side piece here. But when you're playing the Days of Our Lives, if you just play it and you're not even watching it, that's fine. Let it play on your TV, your tablet, anywhere. You're still getting known as being a watcher. That's all that matters. Because if you weren't watching it, then the ratings don't pick up that you're watching it. So don't feel bad that you're watching it in the afternoon. Just still watch it, and you're still getting involved in the rating process of the ratings watchers and all that good stuff.
I mean, they count the numbers. That is true, but it's just right now. I mean, and the same thing for Paramount Plus and Hulu, because I didn't want anybody to think that Peacock was paying us to, do it. Although Peacock, if you would like to send us a gift basket. I saw the gift baskets that you send. We would like one, too, if you have time. Not saying we're begging or anything. It's just I really thought that was pretty cool what I saw.
We are. All big.
She said it. I did. You know what? I am grateful for it. Just a thank you. That's all. And a free hat. So everybody is on board with it being like this is a good thing. And but back to the threesome. I want to know, how did everybody else really honestly feel about the threesome? Do you think it was necessary? Do you feel as though this was just, oh my gosh, wow, this was really good? Like, do you feel, or just feel like, oh, what is this on my TV? Oh, be gone. Like,
no, I'm a little more progressive.
I liked it. For me, it ebbed and flowed, and it was very natural, very creative, and it wasn't raunchy what people say it is, and it's not soft porn that people say it is. It's just good storytelling in daytime. That's how I see it. Because the story revealed itself, and it was true because Alex was down on his luck. He's turning to friends, and his friends are wanting to try to experiment with Alex. And I see nothing wrong with that. I mean, there could be any kind of exciting possibilities after it's over. I hope not that they don't get nobody pregnant right away. But again, that's part of daytime. They can get one character pregnant. But either way, at least we got something now where Alex is more solidified with Chanel and Allie, not just as a couple, but they could be a throuple, or they could just be friends with really good benefits. Either way, it's great storytelling, and I enjoyed it. So good job, Ron.
Yeah, and it finally changed the dynamic between Allie and Chanel, which needed to be done. So that's why I liked it.
Yes, I love the scene. I love the threesome scene between Chanel, Allie, and Alexander. I thought it was very good, very well done. Because when I first heard about this threesome scene, I was, a little bit nervous and not sure how the show would approach it. But after seeing it when the episode came out, I thought it was very well done. I give kudos to not just Rob, but also Raven and also Lindsay as well, and also the crew for putting this together behind the scenes. So, job well done to the Israelites for this threesome scene, and I'm looking forward to having sex between all three characters.
Yeah, and I would say before moving on is that another thing that I think a lot of people appreciated was going into it, there was dialogue. Instead of they start kissing, then commercial, right, they talked about it, and then after the fact that they all, had sex and whatnot, they still talk, and you can clearly tell that this is kind of going to be this is an experience for Chanel and Allie, but for Alex, I like their friendship. That's what I even got more out of the threesome. Yes, I know it's supposed to be sexual and you're supposed to feel the passion and everything, and I was okay with it. But what I really enjoyed was their dialogue afterwards when he said, "I care about you ladies." Because I was like, if he doesn't say that, because,
I was blushing.
To me,
I was blushing for them, yes.
Yeah, because I feel as though this is an experience that they all three have shared now, and you don't know what's going to happen next. But I just love the fact that he said, "I care about you ladies." And then and I know Robert Scott Wilson ad-libbed this, when they said, "Bye," I was like, really? like, okay. And I joked on Twitter, I said, Robert Scott Wilson has another first. For me, I got to explain this. He was the first male model on Price is Right.
Yes.
If you guys watch All My Children online, you know what scene I'm about to talk about real quick.
Yes, I know.
He had the first, he had the first on All My Children online, and now he's a part of the first threesome on Days. So Robert Scott Wilson, congratulations on all your firsts. I don't know.
That's putting it really mild.
He's got that factor. You can't deny it. I'm going to be seeing him at an event in about 10 days, so I'm going to have to write that down, make a little note, and put it in his hand.
Don't tell him I said that. Don't say who said it. I'll be like this. I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
I'll be like,
Shirley, your face will turn red.
I can see her say it.
Yeah, your first.
My co-host Candace said the following thing: you're the first male model on Price is Right. You had the first BJ on All My Children reboot, and then you had the first threesome on Days. Congratulations on all your firsts. Yeah, that would be me.
Yeah.
Stamp it. Stamp the
I
time.
think he might know that already. No one would have to tell him that.
No, you never know. You never know.
You never know.
So, Candace, what is it?
I mean, obviously. Oh, the second thing about this Chad thing. Okay, this Chad. Oh God. Okay. this Abigail storyline, the death and Chad moving on. I'm going to say
you think it's too soon.
He didn't.
Said this, huh? Well, here's the thing. Okay. A couple of months ago, I think it was around, April and May, I said on here, within the following things are going to happen, and it's going to happen too quickly, and I'm going to be tapped out. I was tapped out the storyline in August. No offense, but I was. Because I felt as though something wasn't adding up. I felt as though I was being duped, one. I predicted who probably was going to be the killer before it was even a thought or blip or whatnot. I tried to read in my head as like a writer, tried to rewrite the storyline to make it make sense. All I have to say is I feel as though this death should not have happened only because the storyline felt rushed to me. Yes. I understand that, this girl died at the beginning of the summer. Okay, summer just ended not that long ago. We're now in the rush of, in some places, winter already, but some for you guys in fall. And he's already kind of making googly eyes at somebody else. Okay, I get that you move on. I understand that. You flirt. But you do a lot. But not that fast. Exactly. You just found out who killed her. Chad literally just found out, 2 weeks ago, that, spoiler for those who didn't know, but y'all should have watched it because it's on Peacock, that Clyde was the one that killed Abby. So to me, okay, you played the certain beat. He got mad. He got angry at the whole Abby was dead, okay? Yeah. He lashed out at Thomas, his little boy, because when Thomas, that little boy, when he said, I want mommy, and Billy Flynn said, I want your mother too. I'm like, Emmy real moment. But then it felt as though, the storyline wasn't a strong storyline. I felt as though if this was supposed to be your prime storyline, right, for the summer,
it failed.
It felt right because I felt as though I wanted to see more Jack and Jennifer. Yeah, you leaned off to Jennifer pill popping again. Okay. Then you got Gwen. Then I felt as though we was losing focus. And now we got Chad and Stephanie, and I'm like, and a possible Gwen, and we called it earlier this year. We was like, watch, something's going to happen for either for Chad and Gwen to be in each other's orbit.
Yeah.
And I feel as though I think that's going to be the next triangle, quote unquote, is Stephanie, Chad, and Gwen.
You know what? I'm agreeing with you, Candace. This could have waited. It didn't have to be rushed like that. I'm okay with the possibility of Chad and Stephanie together, but not so quick like you. I don't buy it. November sweeps is just around the corner. They could have waited a little bit towards November if they wanted to push the story a little further. They could have waited until January,
to be honest with you.
They could have waited
until the beginning of the year.
Yeah, New Year. There's no reason to rush the story when you just wrapped up one storyline because as fans, we're not stupid. We don't buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree as well. I mean, honestly, they could have waited till January, like you said, Candace. But I do think that we will get Chad and Stephanie instead. I'm not sure if anything else will happen after that, but I do agree overall because I do think that they missed a lot. They missed a lot of potential with the storyline and as a potential couple.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with Gwen, I kind of feel bad for the character of Gwen because it seems like they don't know what to do with the character now.
Yeah.
She's
floundering. She's just floundering, and that's usually bad in Salem. If they're floundering, it's usually going to be them getting written out or killed off or disappear.
It's funny because, the character of Gwen, the character of Gwen was an experiment, and I'm going to explain it. You brought her on with Jake. If anybody remembers, that was the OG, Jake and Gwen.
Right.
with Gwen, and because she was messing with Chad and Abby, she was a little bit more interesting. Not saying Claire too, but mainly it was she was a spitfire. But what I'm saying is that she was messing with Chad and Abby. So it's sort of like the mystery as to why is she messing with her. Okay, when we found out why she was doing that, I truly believe the writers was trying to get the audience to feel something for Gwen, because we knew that she was doing it because of her mama, right, and everything, because she had heard that her daddy didn't want A, B, C, to D with her, but here he is being a doting dad to Abby. Okay, the audience is connected now because this is the long-lost daughter of Jack Devereaux. Okay, then you go ahead and then you have where, Laura Horton, who should not have been killed off. I'm sorry, she shouldn't have. She knew the secret, even though truthfully it was Jack's daddy. But we're gonna let that slide because y'all killed him off. Okay. So,
but now they're putting her between Sarah and Xander, and that gets more confusing for the fans. I'm cool. I love Gwen. Yeah. I love Gwen and Xander. They're hot together. They're a cool couple. But now they're mixing Sarah into the mix, and I think that's just an overload of too many triangles.
No, I'm going to tell you what it was.
What's going on.
I'm going to tell you what it was.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, once the whole Jack reveal was over, you felt some kind of way about Gwen. You felt kind of bad for her because she was lied to most of her life, as well as Jack. Now, the Sarah and Xander thing. I'm sorry, but this is where they was floundering Gwen. They didn't really know what to do with her and Xander at that time period, so they hooked those two characters up. You knew down the line, though, Sarah was going to come back, whether it was Lindsay or somebody else. So then once they got Sarah back, you started to really feel, you like, ooh, because everybody was telling Gwen, honey, when Sarah returns, you do know you're going to get tossed aside. And yes, if you're a Xander and Gwen fan, you was like, no, she deserves some kind of happiness because of everything that she's gone through. At the same time, though, you know that she was doing some sneaky stuff, so you still was invested with this character. The full circle moment was the fact that now they kind of dropped the ball on this too. Okay, if you truly feel a certain type of way, Jennifer, about Gwen, I really wish there was more of a dynamic between Jennifer and Gwen than what I saw. Okay, I understand Gwen sees her mother in Jennifer because they had the addiction stuff, but you made this kind of too easy. And I just feel as though they're trying to make Gwen into like a Rachel from another world. Like she's a bad girl. Jennifer hit her with the car. Now she's like, you know, it was Jennifer. I'm going to try to be a redeemed version of myself. Oh.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I love Emily O'Brien. Trust me, I do.
But if they can't write for the character, they need to let her go.
Yeah. Oh, they're going to write for her.
Yes. Let her out.
You forget something. Again, she is the daughter of Jack. She is involved in the Damaris world because of certain things. Trust and believe. I would agree with you, but they see some kind of value with this character because it don't have a lot.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't want the character to be like back burner because that's where I would really have a problem with it.
Oh, trust me. If she's going to be paired up and if she's going to move into the Mirror Mansion, oh, honey, she will be there. She will be there.
Cool.
So, okay. Anybody else have anything to say about Days of Our Lives?
How are you all liking Jada? Because I like her. She's a fun character.
I like her on Days of Our Lives.
I mean, she gets to do the one thing that I wish I could do, but
yes,
and I was talking about being a cop.
Wait.
I was talking about being a cop. See, y'all went there.
You were not.
All I can tell you is get ready because Jada's going to break up a very powerful couple that everybody wanted back together again.
Well, there's not really many couples that are
No.
that together.
Depends how Ray's feeling right now.
I feel bad for Ray. That guy never gets any good luck. Like, seriously, every woman he's dating, he's getting screwed over. Look, he tried, he was with Hope, and he slept with Sammy. Then he got Nicole, but Nicole wants Eric. I think Ray needs his own woman, someone that isn't tied to the past, somebody new.
He had a woman. She died.
Which
Emily?
one? I can't remember. I can't even remember. Who was that?
Jordan.
I think her name was Emily. Or something.
Jordan.
Jordan
Ben's sister. Ben's sister, yeah. I think that's the only
And he was
time I saw
with
him
Kate, too. Hello.
He was with Kate, too.
Kate.
Oh, with Kate, too.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. No.
We don't?
We don't talk about.
We don't talk about that. Okay.
We don't talk about.
Where are we flying up to next?
David.
Where do you want to go?
General Hospital, so I can get this over.
Genoa City.
Oh, you want
General
to go to
Hospital?
City? Yeah.
Sure, General Hospital. That's fine. Genoa City, General Hospital. It's all good.
Okay.
We finally got Elizabeth's parents.
Yep. Go ahead, Candace.
Okay.
I'll tell you how I feel right now, but I'm just for me. I'm just gonna say I'm pleased they finally did it, and I was surprised at who they were.
Oh, the casting over
Yeah, so we got Denise Coxey for some of you guys know
Crosby.
as Star Trek: The Next.
I'm all for it.
Well, yeah, Star Trek: The Next Generation, and William Moss from Falcon Crest. Okay.
I'm all for it. Yes, they did good.
Said.
They did good casting.
They did good casting. Yes, that's great. Here's what I'm going to say, and I don't want nobody to jump at me. I'm glad that it took a certain amount of years to get here with the casting of Elizabeth's parents. I don't trust this at all.
I'll agree with you, Candace. I'm worried about the writing. That's the only thing. Remember,
I'm worried about the writing.
Yeah, me too. Ryan as well.
Yeah. It's the writing and the fact. This is what General Hospital does, and I don't want everybody to say, Candace, you always pick, but I have to do this. I've noticed a trend. You cast people that we the audience are going to have something to say about. And you try to make us forget about the current stuff that's happening on the show. Mm-hmm. It's like a show and pony thing. Like, the storylines on General Hospital right now, there's some that is good and then there's some that is bad. But guess what, you guys? We heard you loud and clear. Elizabeth Purse is finally coming to Port Charles. Okay, is this going to benefit Elizabeth or is it going to benefit Finn?
Oh, God, please don't mention
I had a feeling you were going to
that.
mention that.
Don't mention Finn, because then you'll get me started. I'll say it just like a lot of people on Twitter.
Same here. Don't do it.
There's a lot of characters are getting propped over for Finn. It's just getting ridiculous now.
It's to the point where, okay, here's what we know. Okay, for those who are keeping score. It's been a year and some months since Franco died. They started this storyline, didn't know where they were going at. Jake, for those who don't know who Jake is, he's Liz and Jason's son, the one we don't see much of, okay?
Right.
He was able to communicate with the grandparents. The grandparents also reached out to Tara. The parents also reached out to Sarah. So here's what Candace has to say. When the episode arrives, when both of the parents come on, I want General Hospital, Dan and Chris and everybody at General Hospital pay very close attention to what I'm about to say. Mm-hmm. You can give everybody a single episode. Don't be like Josh Griffin, though. But in this case, Elizabeth needs a standalone episode. Because I feel as though the only way we're going to get the full story is for 1 hour. Because knowing you guys, you're going to give it to us on a Tuesday, every other Wednesday, and a Thursday. And maybe a Friday if we're lucky. But
please
I
take
need
a break
to know.
from using Finn.
Well, and that's the thing. This storyline has shifted from Elizabeth's point of view to Finn's point of view, which I'm confused about.
I'm not buying it. Yeah.
I'm like, how can we start with Elizabeth and now all of a sudden it's about his dead wife.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. I'm sorry, but it's just too much.
I
was surprised with that too. I don't get the connection. Yeah. I mean, she was around 14, 15 when
she was
supposedly
15. It literally happened the summer that she came to Port Charles. Because all this happened in 97.
And supposedly she pushed someone down the steps.
Right. And so I'm just going to say General Hospital.
That makes sense because that's the time when supposedly Finn is supposed to be in that scenario as well. That's where it gets too confusing.
But here's the thing. They didn't even have to do this. That's the problem. Look, I like Michael Easton. I do. Okay? And the character Finn, to me, I'm going to be honest, Finn is one of those characters that after a certain storyline wrapped up, he should have either been backburned or let go. I'm sorry. Because to me, you're using Elizabeth. Like you're using Elizabeth to keep him relevant and whatnot and propping off of her storyline. Because I'm like, wait a minute, didn't his wife die because of an illness?
Yeah.
I'm not going crazy. Okay, so I'm not going crazy. So to me, so are you going to now say that she died because of the fall? Or because that's going to be a retcon like nobody's business. I just feel
like a bad rewrite. It's a bad rewrite.
Right. I'm like, where are we going at with this? And I'm hoping, I want a standalone episode because I want Rebecca Hurt. I finally feel like 25 years that I've watched Rebecca play Elizabeth Weber. I want her first scenes to be when she sees her mom and dad, and they're going to be acting like, oh, we're here, sweetie. Come give us hugs and everything. I want Elizabeth to go back to being Lizzie. And I'm talking about the 1997 girl that I saw smoking a cigarette, giving me back mouth, and listen to Jay-Z. I want her to go balls to the wall. I want her to blast out everything. Like, oh, so you decided to come because Finn called you? Oh, because Finn called you. But what about me? I called you. I texted you. But you can also reach out to my boys. And da-da-da-da. I want all of that history. I want her to say, where were you at my lowest when I tried to kill myself? Where were you at when I thought Jake died? Where were you at when I got married? Where were you at for Franco? Where were you at? I want all of this. I want her to say, while you all saving the world in Africa, taking care of other people's families, what about me?
And writers don't be watering it down. We want the full story. We don't just want half-half.
And you know what the sad part is? You want to know what the sad part is? Half of me already comes to the conclusion that I'm going to get that. I'm going to get where they're going to say, well, you know, at Thanksgiving when we was all at Sarah's house, you seemed a little bit frustrated. No, I want to know, you can't play certain stories off screen. And somebody, like I said, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I can tell you just a little teaser that I did hear, that Liz and Terry are going to go out of town to where it all started for Liz. And this will bring up a lot of Pandora's box for Liz's past. So get ready. This is my prediction. I predict that we're going to see the parents probably by November sweeps, if this is the way they're going at it, because the Liz and Terry trip starts either this week or next week. So get ready. It's going to be an exciting week on General Hospital.
Okay, so basically what I'm hearing, and this is my biggest fear, I'm about to relive Laura's storyline. And when I'm talking about Laura's storyline, you guys all were there when they said that Rick Weber did all this stuff.
They're doing it again.
And Elizabeth, because there's a parallel that I'm noticing. And I don't want to say the other part, but if you follow, you guys know what I said. I don't want to say that, but I just noticed is that, okay, we're bringing parents in during this time frame of a mystery about their past. So
I feel they jumped it. They're missing the point. They could have added, I don't see what the big problem is. They could have added Hayden into this story. They could have added Sarah into this story. Why so much?
Well, they did. Remember, they added Sarah. They added Sarah because, remember, Finn called Sarah. That's how Elizabeth knew what Finn was doing, is calling Sarah. Now, Hayden is allegedly dead, gone. Well, we all know she's been kidnapped. But the thing is that you built all this up, and I swear, General Hospital, because you did it earlier with the hook killer storyline.
Yeah.
I better be. This is something that I've been waiting for. This is just like when Michael found out all the stuff about Sonny and Carly, Jason and AJ. This is the moment I've been truly waiting for. I want to see what you guys do to have Elizabeth confront her parents. I don't want no rainbows, lollipops, and ice cream with this. I want it to go hard. And if
if General Hospital can't do it, bring in a surprise guest writer to do it.
Hi.
There you go. Oh, my God. I've got some major news for y'all. Trina Nation is going to go wild when they hear about this, but here we go. Coming soon, Trina is going to be calling out Spencer Cassidyne's name when she makes love to Rory.
I don't know. Are they going to get that far?
Coming soon.
I'm surprised they're going to take it that far.
Oh, and Jocelyn and Dex do sleep together, so get ready for that. It's going to be great.
Shocking. Cameron better be like his daddy, Xander, and burn the place down.
Cameron does get a new lover, and she'll pop up before everybody knows it, so that's going to be fun. So I'm excited for what's coming up for the fall and here on General Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Candace, I got a question. How are you feeling about Trina and Rory? Because I don't feel no chemistry. It feels like it's forced.
Well, maybe they're not supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like a filler? Like a bad filler?
It's sort of like how, Juan was with Emily before Xander. Yeah. I mean, and shout out to all the Juan and Emily fans. How y'all doing? Hey. But, with Trina and Rory, I don't see it.
When I heard this exciting spoiler, I get where they're going.
And let me just say this real quick. It's not because Spencer and Trina. It's just the fact that, and it's a trope. It is to have somebody inserted before they go to the next person that is the worthy one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just, I don't see it.
I'm like, when I was hearing about it, I'm like, oh, no, please. I didn't want Trina to sleep with the guy that she doesn't love. That's just, oh, no.
Well,
but it's General Hospital, so I expect it. It's General Hospital, I expect it. It's like you said, it's a trope. Nathan,
no, I expect
David,
it as well.
What do you feel about Trina and Rory?
Trina and Rory?
Yay or nay?
Let me see. Oh, my God.
Actions speak louder than words,
Let's see. Trina and Rory, maybe not there. I like them together. I want them to work for a while.
Yeah.
But
Nathan?
That is a big, fat no on Trina and Rory. I see no chemistry with the actor who plays Rory with Trina. I think it's stale. I think it's boring. And I think right now everyone is just waiting for Spencer to get out, profess his love to Trina, and kiss her at this point. Because at this point, while I do understand why, I just think that, GH might be going the same route that they went with, Brooklyn Chase, where, yes, they had chemistry, it was there, but they never really capitalized on it. And I kind of feel that's where Spencer and Trina may be going next. But that's just me.
Yeah, there you go. And shout out to the actor that plays Rory on General Hospital. He did a great job on Chicago PD. Woo!
Yep.
Candace, did you see him?
I didn't watch.
I saw some of it.
Candace, did you get to see Rory General Hospital actor
Candace
on
dropped.
Chicago PD? Oh, she dropped? Okay.
She dropped.
Oh,
so,
man. Okay.
Let's
Did Holly
some
come back today
Y&R.
or is that tomorrow?
What?
Holly, is she back today or tomorrow?
She came back
She
today.
came back at the end of this episode.
Okay, then it's leading up to tomorrow. Tomorrow's supposed to be the big episode they're going to be talking about.
Right.
So set your DVR. Tomorrow's the big
we'll do
holiday.
Y&R and then we'll wrap up.
Go ahead. We're ready for Y&R.
Okay. Up until now. Okay, I didn't see today's yet, so we're going in. We're seeing a possible adoption happening.
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you take it, Nathan?
Let's say that again.
We go on Mariah and Tessa's adoption?
Yes, I did. I don't mind it. I do kind of have a little bit of an issue with the storyline itself because I do think that Mariah and Tessa, with this adoption storyline, I think it's kind of moving at a little bit of a slow pace for me. I would kind of prefer if they had maybe another storyline because I'm just not feeling that this storyline for them, oddly and strangely.
I tune them out.
No, I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
What do you say, Will?
David and Nathan, I got to ask you, how are you enjoying the new Tucker McCall? Because I'm loving Trevor St. John as Tucker.
I'm torn.
Oh, really? Why?
I like him in the role. I just wish that the makeup department would do a little more with him. He looks a little young. Too young. He looks a little young in the role, and I think they could make him up a little bit more and just to age him a little bit because he looks wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean,
we
don't know how old
he's 51,
the character is, but I do know how old the actor is. So if they're going to do that.
And Nathan, what do you think about Tucker?
Well, I mean, despite what David said, I do like Trevor St. John role Tucker. I mean, the first day he came onto the scene in that hotel room at the Genoa City Athletic Club, or I think it was the Grand Phoenix. I do think that he did a great job in the scenes with Susan Walters, Diane, and then in the scenes he had in the wedding, Summer and Kyle's, wedding near the end. I thought that was great as well. Also, seeing his anger in that one episode when he was talking to Diane at Society, that showed to me Tucker McCall's anger, but also showed Trevor St. John's range when it comes to portraying the anger and the upsetness.
Oh yeah, he knows how to do
of the character he's playing. So I thought he did a great job of those scenes as well. And also, I'm also liking the chemistry between both him and Audra, the new female character that debuted a couple shows ago, I think a couple weeks ago, during the reception for Summer Kyle's wedding. So overall, it's good, but I'm looking forward to see what happens with Tucker moving forward.
He's got major secrets. Just wait to see what it is. And also, I got an update for y'all. For Young Loretta Sam, you'll hear it first right here at Take Two Radio. There's a rewrite that's going on because Sharon is going to get a new lover, but it's somebody that's already in the canvas. So get ready for that. That'll be interesting.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
And Audra,
someone who's already there?
Yes. Audra also gets her first romantic pairing with somebody in her bed coming very soon.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, it's coming.
I do like the actress who plays Audra Charles.
I love her.
I think she's very photogenic. I think she's got some spunk with Rory Gibson, who plays Noah. She could give a little bite to Noah and Allie's relationship. Almost like, the young the younger Jack, Phyllis, and Diane days almost, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I got two key
points
for you. I've got 2 key points for you. First of all, I don't understand why Jill is so rushing to do make the company public when she knows that there's another CEO that's trying to take over. That's not very smart business strategy. So if she was to lose Chancellor Winter's industry to Victoria or anybody, then she has that coming. That's definite. Okay, and then the second one is pay close attention to Phyllis, because Phyllis is going to do something that nobody ever expected. So her storyline kicks off in beginning first week in November during Sweeps Month.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
That sounds good. So let me see what else is in there. So tell us,
we finally understand
Will
Devon.
and
We understand
Nathan.
Devon now. David, we understand Devon now. The reason why he's been acting the way he has, according to Nate, is because he doesn't want anybody to replace his dad.
That's what he says.
I think that makes sense. Don't you think, Nathan?
Yeah, I can see that making sense as well based on what happened, because I do think that, for Devon, obviously, it's obvious that he doesn't want things to change as well.
Well, remember, Nate threw it out. He said that he's not a very good employee, which goes back to, remember, we talked about this. When Tessa first worked for Devon, she was very uncomfortable working around him.
Yes, that's very, very true as well. So
that goes back to what Nate said. Not everybody gets along with you, Devon. You just think you know what you're talking about, but you don't. Like, you don't know the kind of person. Devon's like, no, they'll talk all good about me. No, not really, because, like I said, Tessa's the first one that I recall, and some other actress that was on there, as a character was on there, and I remember they didn't feel very comfortable working around Devon when he was doing the recording studio.
Yeah, that's very, very true. I do remember that happening as well. I do think that Nate, despite him being at fault for this, I do think he makes some very good points for what he told Devon as well. Even though I do think that Nate really did screw up when it came to him going to Victoria, but overall, I thought he made some very good points. And for Devon, that's up for him to decide how he wants to move forward, if he wants to change his ways or whatever. And because for me, I don't mind the character of Devon, but he does have his a-hole moments here or there where, he does become very unlikable.
Yes, exactly. All right, I got a quick question for you, too. The last question of my night will be, were you surprised that Nick Newman is trying to walk away from Sally because he knows deep down that she has feelings for Adam?
I don't think he really cares.
For me,
I see another side to Nick in this, and I see him more as the dirtier one than Adam this time around.
Yeah, no, I get that. But did you see he tried to walk away just a little bit by telling her, well, if this isn't going to work for us, then I understand, because I can tell you that Adam does miss you, and you did used to make him smile. He's telling him what Connor was saying to Sally about that his dad used to smile every time when he was around Sally.
Yes, that is very, very true. And I do, as far as your question, Will, for me, I don't mind Nick as a character that much, but I thought that him sleeping with Sally was a mistake in a way, because, it showed that Nick does not have any boundaries at all, doesn't care about anyone but himself. And, him walking away from Sally, to me, was the right thing. But, to me, as far as what happens to Nick, love-wise, romance-wise, I care less at this point. I mean, unless the show focuses on putting him back with Sharon down the road, then as for now, I don't care.
Yeah. Anything else, David, you want to say?
Let's hit bold for a little bit, and then we'll wrap. And start off with what Candace has said. Bold is being bold, but she believes it's a dream.
Oh, you can't tell me that you guys haven't been picking up the chemistry between Liam and Brooke. It's so
please, no, I hope not.
It's so
obvious. That's so predictable. Right, no surprise.
Nathan,
no,
Nathan, you know where it's going. It's just a matter of time.
Oh, my God.
No.
Yeah, it may happen. It may happen. I'm sorry, David, but it may happen.
Remember, she slept with Oliver.
I know. That's why I don't want it to happen. I know her history.
Yeah, Liam is her hero. He's going to figure out what's going on with the CPS. And we also know that coming soon, Ridge is going to attack his own son because of the truth coming out. His little, what's the son's name again?
Thomas?
No. Or Douglas.
Thomas' son. Douglas. Douglas is going to let it reveal what really happened with the CPS caller because he knows about that toy. But when that comes out, Ridge is going to attack Thomas. And while all this is happening, Brooke and Liam are supposed to grow closer. So I don't know when, but they will be making love very soon.
Now, I wonder what part it is that Candace thinks it's a dream. I wonder the Hope and Thomas part. Do you think it's in his head?
I don't know. I'm all for it. If it's real, if it's a dream, I'm all for it. Because she's got more chemistry with Thomas than she does with Liam.
I do feel
that's very, very true.
I don't even see him as brothers or sister or stepsister or brother. I just don't see it. To me, it's just like they're strangers to each other in their own way. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't get that vibe as well. It seems strange to me.
Yeah. Oh, there's one. David, you heard about this, right? There's a mystery person coming in from, where was it? Italy, from Hope's Pass is going to hit town, and it's going to have an effect on everybody.
My God!
I think it's a mystery man from Hope's past, but that's my prediction. I don't know. All I know is that somebody from the past of Hope that will pop up. I think it's again this week or next week because we're getting into sweeps month really fast.
We are getting there pretty quickly, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
October 31st kicks off November sweeps, so everybody knows.
Right. And in case y'all didn't see it, it was posted out a couple days ago that Sean Kanan inked another 2 years.
Oh, well, that's good. I love Deacon.
Yes, congrats to Scott Kanan.
Yes. It's awesome.
It's awesome. So, guys.
And I'm loving the conversation with Katie and Carter. Katie and Carter are the next.
I hope so. I just don't like how they dropped Quinn like that.
I didn't either.
Yeah, so it's very disrespectful.
There should have been more. I think there should have been more in that explanation and all that.
It was like a cop out. It's a cop out.
Yeah, it is a cop-out. I mean, Rena Silver deserves so much better as Quinn, and I think she saw the writing on the wall. They could have recasted, but I don't think the show really I don't think the show didn't want to waste any time to that, unfortunately.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, they wrote her off, and then to show a very disturbing part is they could have said something like, oh, well, she's a killer and she's on the loose. Like, damn, you really want to ruin your character that bad then?
Yeah, that's bad, sloppy writing.
Yeah.
Well,
guys, it's about that time to call it. So I want to thank everybody who was on today. And I want to thank you guys I want to thank Nathan for stepping in and talking with us.
No problem at all.
Nathan, where can they find you on Twitter?
Okay, for those of you that want to find me on Twitter, for Twitter, at Money Mac 101. That's a capital MONEYMAC 101, and the number's 101. And mine's is called Sam McCall is the Last Morgan / Nathan Banks, and that's you guys will find me on Twitter.
Yeah, and you can find me at Willie's View PW for Willie's View Podcast on Twitter.
Yes.
So that's where you find me. And David, where can they find you?
Take the Radio Crew on Twitter. And I'm on
All right,
Facebook.
I had so much fun with you guys. Thank you. It's always good to be back.
Thank you,
Same
guys.
here. I had a great time as well. I enjoyed it. Look forward to doing it again.
Bye, everybody. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye. Have a great night, everybody, and have a great weekend coming up. We'll see you next time.
Yep.
Get connected with Take Two Radio on Facebook or Twitter at Take Two Radio. For email updates on future shows, follow at Blog Talk Radio. For previous episodes, upcoming guests, and more, visit TakeTwoRadio.com.